Hi, Diane. So I did a tiny little demo of your guy. I didn't draw it very well. So I'm using the same paints that I left for you at your house. I'm not using the extra browns or the ultramarine today. So it's just using white, cadmium yellow, cadmium red, crimson, and phthalo blue. So right now I'm going to make kind of a brown that sort of is like the skin color, and I'm going to mix it together and thin it out, and I'm going to put it over the whole canvas. And then after that I'm going to use a tissue to remove some of it where the grass is. So this is called an imprimatura, and what it does is it just kind of gets everything kind of set on the same base color, unifies all the colors. So it actually makes the colors look better together. So it's a little hack right there. So I am going to put some terpenoid on my canvas. You don't have to do that. I just know that sometimes my little blick canvases don't absorb right. So I just wanted to pre-wet it. But if you find that you're not able to spread your paint very well, like it's being absorbed, in the future just put some terpenoid over it. So I'm kind of pre-wetting it just a little bit, but you should not have to do this with your canvas. And so it looked dark on the palette, but you can see as I'm spreading it around, it's very, very pale. So you can go darker than this. I probably would if it was mine, but I want to play it safe with you. So I ran out of color, but it's the same simple ingredients. So I've been using all the colors except for white. I won't use white until later. See that big streak I just did? That is because I didn't clean my brush off after mixing, but it's okay. These first layers don't really matter that much. Okay, I'm sorry I filmed it backwards, so here is a close-up in the right direction. Now I'm taking the tissue and I'm just going to separate the boy from the grass. And if yours doesn't wipe off as easy, that's okay. Because like I said, I would have gone darker with mine. So you can't tell a whole lot, but my background still has the hint of that color. So it's just lightly stained. So I'm just making a green for the grass. I start with a basic green, just yellow and blue, and then I add a little bit of the brown to it just to kind of make it more of a natural green instead of a really, really bright green. And this can be a pretty dark color. The reason is that when you put the small blades of grass over it later, if it's darker, that actually helps. So mine will not be super dark, but eventually I will build it up darker. So again, if yours is darker on your canvas than mine is looking, that's okay. One thing to think about, now I don't have a drawing really, and you do, so you don't have to worry too much. But when I did the green, I'm also sort of cleaning up my edge around him, and it's a good time to make corrections. You'll see me make a few corrections here and there where I made him too wide or the wrong shape, and I will just cut into him with the grass color. If that's too advanced, that's okay. All right, there he is, the right direction. And a close-up of my palette. And you can see how messy it looks right now. That's totally okay. That's what we want. So essentially we are putting the main color in every piece now. Oh, and if you were curious why I wiped out the background originally and not the highlights on the boy, it's because I did it so light, but also I didn't want too much of that reddishness in our green. So just to go back. So right now I'm adding in red, it's a new color, and I'm sort of redrawing my shapes. So again, this is a time where you can adjust your drawing a little bit. But your drawing is pretty good, so don't worry too much about doing that. I'm realizing now that I'm chewing gum. And in the upper corner, I'm just watching myself chew. So hopefully you don't get stuck watching me chew too long. All right, so right now I'm kind of finding some of the main shadows on him. This color isn't anything special, it's just sort of a tannish color. And I know that the photo that I have isn't, you know, as bright or as colorful as the one you have at home. So you just find any kind of tan. So right now my tan is a little bit orangey. I'm gonna pink it up later. But I'm just sort of kind of molding my face a little bit right now. I have to do it this way because I don't have a drawing, but you will have a little bit more structure so you can start adding in your shadows. And if it's not the perfect tan, that's okay. We're gonna add layers, right? All right, now I'm gonna start using white to make a lighter color. But yeah, that's how messy he looks right now. So the white is gonna help me blend my shadows, but I'm gonna be making sort of pinky peach, you know, different kinds of tan, and adding them in there until I find the one I really, really love. But it doesn't matter too much because I can change it later. And mostly I'm using it just to blend and kind of get a skin color all over the exposed skin. So when you're thinking of your skin tones, remember that peach is orange plus white, right? So it's just a light orange. And our skin tones are always a little grayer than we think. So if it was orange or orangey, like a peach, you could add a little tiny bit of blue and that would dull it down. So in actuality, it's taking it closer to brown, but not all the way, right? So you're just dulling it down a little bit. And if your skin tone was more on the pink side, you could dull it a little bit with a tiny bit of green. They're opposites on the color wheel, red and green. You'll see that I'll have a lot of different colors going on right now, and I'm kind of trying to figure out which skin tone I like the best. I also know not to worry too much because the photo reference I have isn't color accurate, I'm sure. But it's okay to explore. Once you find the right one, you know how to adjust everything later. Now I'm mixing up an off-white or a bone color. Uh, all you have to do is take one of your tans and add a lot of white to it if you want. I just added a little bit of yellow and brown, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You can just make it plain white right now, just to get one color in everything. So what that means is we have the color in the grass, we have the color for the skin, and we have the color for the clothes. And now for the, what do you call that? The chest piece, right? It's not a necklace. So yeah. And of course, I'm just putting little dashes, but you have a really good drawing, so that'll be easy for you. If you wanted to, you know how earlier I just painted the skin all over the chest and now I'm adding the white on top? You could, of course, paint that skin color in between each piece of the necklace, but I found it would be easier just to take care of the skin and then add the white on top. So either way is okay with me. I just like the way I did it. So from this point on, I'm just going to be getting, a single color in things, and then I'm going to go back and add a little bit more strength to the red and the green grass. And when I do that grass again, I will be cleaning up my edges because I'm noticing changes in my drawing right now. You may not be able to see these tiny little changes, but when I redo my grass near the end, I will help reshape him with the grass. I think I'm getting a little tired, Diane, so I feel like I'm rambling a bit. So I think I'm going to stop recording and just let this finish. All right, I'll see you on Friday. He may not look like much right now, Diane, but it's a good place to stop. You could still add details, but it might be better just to let him dry. If you were going to add more details, just keep adding to that skin or the fabric. You could add the blue little medallions. You could add the white fringe. But don't do the grass again, or don't add to the grass. So everything else is okay, but leave the grass just solid green right now. All right, I'll see you again on Friday. Bye.